let's go back to our mess of connectors. There are a few things I would like to highlight. This big one right here, this is the one that powers our motherboard. Another one that we have, it's more of a legacy one, is this 4-pin Molex. These connectors were used heavily before SATA came out. Now we use these connectors to power the majority of the SATA devices today. Most modern machines today will probably use SATA power connectors for your hard drives, so it may come with Molex to SATA adapters. Now it's time for the fun part. First, let's go ahead and connect our power supply to our motherboard. So that's this big pin as we discussed earlier. Just going to go in right here and plug that in like so. Next, we're going to go ahead and power the CPU with this 8-pin Molex right here. It's going to be pretty tight, but you should be able to get it in. There you go. So what we just did was we have the power supply is powering the motherboard and the CPU. So now that we've hooked up the cable to our CPU and motherboard, next thing that we need to hook up are these cables that are sitting in our case. This is going to vary from case to case, but let's go through it. Some of these cables are used for your case's buttons and lights. So for this one, I'm going to plug these in. Okay. Okay, so our case cables are now secured to our motherboard. One good idea is sometimes your motherboard will come with some guides. This will help you fasten your cables to your motherboard so it's clean and tight on your case. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right here. Now that we have our cables securely fastened to our case, let's not forget one more thing, our graphics card. We'll need that so we can output video to our monitor. We're going to plug this graphics card into our PCI Express slot on our motherboard. Just like the RAM, you are going to put a little bit of pressure when you insert this in, so don't feel bad by putting a little bit of pressure and you'll hear it click like this. Once you've done it, you're going to tightly secure it to your case. This is going to vary from case to case. And there you go. Your graphics card has been installed. All right, I think that's it. Let's cover up our computer. First, make sure you take your anti-static bracelet away. Get our case. Put that in like so. And just tug. And that's it. There you go. We finally built our machine. Last but not least, let's connect our monitor, keyboard, and mouse to the desktop. So first, let's get our keyboard. What we're going to do is we're going to connect this USB to the USB port on our desktop. Then we're going to get our mouse, do the same thing, connect this to our USB port. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and connect our monitor. For this monitor, we're going to go ahead and use a DisplayPort cable. I'm going to connect one end to our desktop, like so. Next, I'm going to plug this into my monitor. All right, this is the most interesting part. Let's see if all this works. So I'm going to power it on. I got a blue light, which is good. And of course, it's going to vary from system to system. Let's see if something shows up on the monitor. So the computer's booting up. Let's see. Okay, it looks like the monitor is receiving signal, which is good. Oh, there we have messages. Success, there we go. It's working, perfect. If you're having issues with your computer not starting up, that's okay. Check that your power supply can supply the correct amount of wattage, or make sure your connectors are in the right place. Oh, what's this? Non-system disk or disk error. Replace and strike any key when ready. Looks like our disk doesn't have an operating system to boot into. No worries. That's what we'll be discussing in the next set of lessons. We'll learn what an operating system is and what the main operating systems are and how to install one. Well, good job. You've got your computer up and running and it monitors receiving signal. So that's it. Let's take a moment and think about what you just did. Not only did you learn about each component of a computer, but you figured out how they work individually, and then we built one together. It's quite an accomplishment.